Welcome everyone. Mark here from Mark's Travel Time. And this is an interesting turn of events. I just received this in the mail today, completely unsolicited. This comes to me from the state of Wisconsin. And the state is asking me whether or not I am an employee of Uber. I think this is really fascinating. I think this is really interesting. This comes from the state of Wisconsin Department of Workforce Development, Unemployment Insurance Division, Bureau of Tax and Accounting. So they really want to see, are they getting all their money, and am I properly recognized, identified, categorized as an independent contractor? I think this is really interesting because I haven't heard anything, hey Lamar, at all about the state of Wisconsin thinking that rideshare drivers have been improperly categorized. So on the heels of AB5, is this another state that's thinking of taking some action against Uber and Lyft? So I thought it would be a really fun live stream. We don't do things like this very often, but I thought it'd be a fun live stream for me to fill this questionnaire out along with all of you. So you could find out exactly what's on the questionnaire. Hey, Beacon. And maybe we can answer some of these questions together, because I looked through it, and some of these questions are questionable. So it says, personal information you provide may be used for secondary purposes. Of course, what they're trying to do is see if they can recategorize me and make, hey Jay, in order to make, I love you guys too, in order to make Uber an employer maybe and have to pay taxes. During a recent unemployment insurance tax audit, Razor LLC Uber Technologies, it was discovered that you received payments for services performed as an independent contractor during 2018. So this is a year ago it's looking at. We need additional information to determine whether you performed your service as an independent contractor, hi Ari, or as an employee under Wisconsin's unemployment insurance law. So they're seeing if they can collect a little bit of unemployment insurance from those rascals. You will find the definition of an employee under Wisconsin's UI law on the last page of this form. So sure enough, when you go to the last page of this form, it gives kind of the litmus test. What with AB5 was the ABC test. It's right here. I'm not going to read it right now, but some points are kind of interesting. So it asks about whether the individual is required to comply with instructions concerning performance of services. We do. Whether the individual receives training from the employment unit. I want you all to think about that one, because they do put out videos. Is that training in respect to the services performed? Whether the individual is required to personally perform services, we are. Whether the services of the individual are required to be performed at times, in particular order or sequence established by the employing unit. Probably not. Whether the individual is required to make an oral or written report to the employer, to the employing unit on a regular basis. No, we're not. And then they have to meet 6 of the following. I'm not going to go through it. What I am going to do here is go through these questions. Okay? So, hey, Donnie. Hey, Donnie, you got something to answer for, buddy. I know this is 2 years ago, but what was that video you made with my face looking like I am not a... I recycle. What was that all about? All right, let's look at this. First question. Describe the services and work you provide for the firm. The firm is Uber, so I am a driver, right? Driver, and then I'm going to add to that rideshare provider. How's that? Does that sound like a good way to describe the service that I provide? So for those of you who are just joining us, we are filling out a questionnaire I received from the state of Wisconsin. They want to know if I am properly categorized. Did you ever work for the firm as an acknowledged or reported employee? No, I have not. If yes, what services did you provide? I don't have to answer that one. Do you or have you in the past, or have you ever had your own unemployment insurance account in Wisconsin? My own unemployment insurance account. I don't believe I have ever had that. Who primarily determine how your service is performed? You, the firm, or other? You guys are welcome to jump in here. I would say that Uber definitely primarily determines how the service is performed. Would you agree with that? I'm going to put down the firm because I think Uber, we don't really have a choice on how this is performed. Hey, Starries, how you doing? So we don't really, I mean, they tell us how we answer the app. They put the timer in place. We have a set of criteria we have to follow. So I'm going to say that the firm. Okay. Were you given instructions, training, or orientation? Here's a good one. Jump in on this right now, everyone. Do you think that we were provided instructions, training, or orientation? I kind of think we were, because they did provide training videos. And the app, okay, the app tells us to do our job. So I am going to say yes, and I'm going to say training videos. And then I am going to say and app instructions. How's that? Well, see, I agree with you that there's two different ways to answer this, but that's why I thought I would take this to all of you. Okay, we're done with page 1. There are 5 pages here, everyone. So let's turn this thing over. Were you required to do all the work personally? Yeah, not only are we required, if we let someone else use our app, we can get bounced off of the program, right? All right. Here are 6 yes or no questions. Okay. Did the firm have the right to require you to work a fixed schedule of hours? No, we weren't required to work adhere to policies or procedures regarding the services performed. Absolutely we do. In fact, they can kick us off the app. Make regular oral or written reports to the firm regarding the services performed. No, we are not required to do that. Attend meetings. No, we're not required. Comply with the firm's training or instructions on how to do the work. All right. Are we required to comply with the firm's training or instructions on how to do the work? I am inclined to say yes, because we have to work with an app. We have to, they require a certain code of conduct. If we get reported, obviously, if there were not rules, how could they kick us off, right? You can attend the meetings in local hubs, but you're not required to. So I'm going to say yes to comply with the training. Provide a surety bond, a bond guaranteeing performance of a contract. No, we're not required to do that. In the years in the question, if you owned your own business while providing services for the firm, provide the following: the business name. Okay, that's unrelated, but I am going to put that down. What year did you first have that business? I have a lot of outside businesses. All right. If filed, please attach a copy of your business to self-employment tax. Okay, let's not worry about that right now. Did you advertise your services? Yeah, that's my personal businesses. How did you find out about work with this firm? I think I found out about it through internet advertising. So that's what I'm going to put down here. And the next question, and for those of you who are just joining us, we're filling out a survey that was sent out by the state of Wisconsin, and there was an audit of Uber. And they are asking me questions to see if I am an independent contractor or not. Did you maintain a business office in your home? Well, I don't know if they're asking about for my private business or for Uber and Lyft. But I didn't do it for Uber and Lyft. So location where the service is performed. Location, well, where is it? Throughout the state. Throughout the state, wherever the app is available, right? So let's see that. I think I do have a red nose and a wig here. Type of service activity that your business provided. Yeah, I think that this is, I think this is different. That they're asking about a personal business, so we're going to move away from that one. I'll review that one later. During the period in question, did you have a single contract or multiple contracts with the firm? Yeah, I think that they're acting like, you know what this is? This is asking if I had a business that contracted with them. That's what it's asking. So I think I can bypass all these. I'm going to have to change some of those answers. Okay. To the extent applicable, please indicate who incurred the following business expenses. Tools and equipment. Well, we did have tools and equipment because we need smartphones at the very least. And I paid for it. Supplies and materials. Well, I don't know if we really require anything. Here's a big one. Car, truck expenses. We paid for it. Employee assistant, computer, internet. Yeah, absolutely. If we don't have a computer or internet, we can't do the job, right? Under whose name was a service to the client or customer provided? The firm. Absolutely the firm. If it was determined that the services you provided were not completed in a, oh, this is a good one, everybody. If it was determined that the services you provided were not completed in a satisfactory manner, check which of the following would apply. So what happens? What do they do if we don't complete our job? You would be responsible to rework at your expense. No, we wouldn't do that. You would do the rework and receive additional pay. That certainly didn't happen. Another firm would be hired. No. Another firm would be hired to rework at the firm's expense. No. You would be subject to penalty, fine, or not be paid for the full contract. That's what they have done to us, right? If something happened, we would be subject to a penalty. As Ari just said, you can get deactivated. So that would be it. So deactivation. So I'm going to, it says explain. So deactivation from the platform. What is the nature of business activity for the firm which you provide services? Rideshare driver. I thought I answered that already. See, I think that they're really asking me if I have a company that I contract them, but I'll let them worry about it. Could your actual, oh, this is a good one too. Could your actual expenses for the services provided exceed your gross income from the firm? Everybody, could our actual expenses for the services provided exceed the gross income from the firm? I know what I'm going to write down. No answers here? I think at 50, whatever it was, 54 cents a mile, what was it in 18? 53 and a half cents a mile? Plus they weren't paying for time between rides. I think we could very easily have actual expenses exceed. Then when you add in insurance, maintenance, all of that. Yes. Were you entitled to additional compensation in the event of unexpected expenses connected with your Were we entitled to compensation? I guess there were times because if someone got sick and threw up in our car, we could be compensated for that, right? So I'm going to say yes. So I'm going to say example. And I'm going to say car cleanup expenses. Can you think of something else I might add there? Surge is compensation, but that is not, that's not what it's asking. It's asking if unexpected expenses were to occur. So I'm going to say, I'm just going to say car cleanup in case of passenger accidents or messes. Okay, on to page We're on 4 now. All right, hey, we're almost done. Could you suffer actual out-of-cost loss as a result of the service performed? Could we suffer actual out-of-pocket loss? Absolutely we could. Sure. Things could happen to us. What are some examples? Free college after 3. I mean, suffer actual case of accidents. Personal property damage. Theft. I would say any of those they wouldn't cover. How were you paid for the services that you provided for the firm during the time period in question? Commission, no. Salary, no. Piecework, not really. Competitive bid, no. In kind, no. Hourly wage, no. Per job. We were paid per ride. Paid by the hour? Was there a cap? And other. Condition 2H. Boy, there's a lot of conditions here. If you have any recurring, did you have any recurring business liabilities or obligations? Oh, yeah. We have routine maintenance, routine vehicle maintenance, insurance. What else would we have as monthly or annually, or that's an example, recurring business expenses? So I put routine vehicle maintenance, insurance. Anything else anyone can think of here? I don't know if that's a liability or obligation. I don't think gas. Gas is just an expense. But I think maintenance and insurance are liabilities and obligations. Did you depend on this firm for your livelihood? I did not, but some people might. Did you provide these services for any other firm or customer? I did not. Some others might. If yes, how many others? Someone might put down 2 or 3 if it's, DoorDash, Lyft, someone else. If no, why not? So why didn't I? I don't know why I didn't. I simply didn't have an interest. And that's what I'm going to say, no interest in other companies. In the time period in question, what percentage of your business income was from the services you provided for this firm? What percentage of your business? Well, see, it's still, this is the weird question because it's still going back, I think, when it asks in way back in one of these conditions, condition A, did you own a business while providing the service? But every other condition, it doesn't say, based on that condition, fill the rest of these out. So I'm a little confused now. What percentage of your business income was from the services you provided? Yeah, I'm leaving that. I'm going to say it's unknown because I don't know. Did you agree that you would not compete with the firm for business? I think you might be right, Trickster. But it's not question, it's condition A. And it does not say on here, it doesn't say only fill out B, C, D, E, F if condition A applies. It doesn't say that. So I'm gonna put in there for this business I was independent I'm just gonna say, working as a self-employment, something along those lines. Did you agree that you would not compete with the business? Oh boy, not directly. Not directly, so I'll have to say no. If yes, provide details. I hereby certify that the answers are true and correct. Woohoo! Then I have to sign it. I have to give the date, sign my telephone number, my social security number. Is it on here? They already have it. Then I know it really came from the state. They already have my social security number on there. All right. Let's read. The individual meets 6 or more of the following conditions. How many conditions are there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. All right. I think so, Trickster. It appears that way. As I read into the other questions, it appears that way. But I'm gonna let them figure it out. Hey, Lisa. All right, let's look at the individual meets 6 or more of the following criteria. The individual advertises or otherwise affirmatively holds himself or herself out as being in the business. No, we don't do that. The individual maintains his or her own office or performs most of the services in the facility or location chosen by the individual and uses his or own equipment and materials. We use our own equipment and materials, but we don't perform the services in a location chosen by us. We don't do that because they send us the pings and they send us where we're supposed to go, right? I guess we can choose a city. I don't know. The individual operates under multiple contracts with one or more employing units to form a specific service. Yeah, we can do that because I can work for Uber, Lyft, DoorDash if I want to. The individual incurs the main expenses related to the services that he or she performs. Yes, I do. The individual is obligated to redo satisfactory work for no additional compensation or is subject to monetary penalty for, yeah, we are subject to that. Well, monetary penalty. No, we cannot be monetarily penalized. All they can do is kick us off the platform. So I'm going to change that one. I'm going to say no. This isn't one that has to be sent in. This is just the information one. The services performed by the individual, app services like medical insurance calls, the services performed by the individual do not directly relate to the employee unit retaining the services. No, I think they do. As a matter of fact, remember we just had that story recently where Uber now has Dial in Uber. And if they're claiming to be technology based, Dial in Uber has absolutely established them as a rideshare company. The individual may realize a profit or suffer a loss under contracts to perform the services. I would say yes. The individual's recurring business liabilities or obligations. We might be independent contracts according to this. The individual is not economically dependent upon a particular employee unit with respect to the services being performed. So, what do I have here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 yeses, 1, 2, 3, 4 no's. So I did not meet 6 or more. Let's look at the no's and see if they are on the edge. The services performed by the individual do not directly relate to the employing unit retaining services. That is an absolute do not directly. No, that's an absolute no because it does directly relate. Let's look at the other no. The individual maintains his or her own office. No. Performs most of the services in a facility or location chosen by the individual. No. Uses his or her own equipment or materials. Yes, we do. And those are not ors, those are ands. So if it says and, that tells me they have to adhere to every single one of those. We don't really require our own location. Well, the vehicle will be the equipment, not the location. A facility or location would mean we have to go there. I don't know. I would say no. The individual advertises otherwise affirmatively holds himself out as being in the business. No, we don't. No, we don't. I cannot operate this without Uber. Yeah, but we don't have to have, just me, we don't have to have an office space. I don't know. This will be interesting. I'm going to send it in anyway. So, employee means any individual who has been performing services for pay for an employing unit whether or not the individual is paid directly by the employing unit, except as in provided in paragraph B, M, C, D, D, M, or D, N. Paragraph 8 is not applied to an individual performing services for an employing unit other than a government unit or nonprofit organization in capacity other than as a logger or trucker. I don't know, that's what it says here. It's Wisconsin, we got a lot of logging. Logging or trucker, if the employing unit satisfies the department that the individual meets the conditions specified in sub paragraphs 1 and 2 by contract and in fact. I don't know. So that's it. State of Wisconsin, I think the big takeaway here, it was fun going over it and having some of your input, but I think the big takeaway here is that the state of Wisconsin is even looking into this. That the state of Wisconsin, at the beginning of this, it says, during a recent unemployment insurance tax audit of Uber Technologies. So that's the key. But condition 2A says if you own your own business, and then condition 2B, it doesn't say that is don't go any further if the answer was no or if you didn't fill anything out. Usually it stops you, right? So, well, I'll be sending that in. So how has everyone been doing otherwise? We have not done ding, 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 Uber Technologies. You're exactly right, Trickster. Well, not only that, how does it always show up in our paycheck? Razier LLC, right? That's how it always shows up. So it says Razier LLC, Uber Technologies is what it actually says. I don't know if I set an alarm or what happened there, but what else is going on, folks? Haven't talked to you in a while. I have a bus license and paperwork for taxes due my own office. I do not have a job, so to speak, so I can answer questions. Yeah. So, but if they're trying to determine, see, that's the thing about this. That's a weird thing about this. If they're trying to determine whether or not we're independent contractors or we are employees, it's going to be different for everyone, isn't it? Isn't it going to be different for everyone? I don't feel I'm an employee of them. I really don't. I contracted with them. It's supposed to snow in our 2 states. They just changed that. First it said it was supposed to be up to 3 inches, then it said 5 to 7 inches. Now they backed off and they said, nah, you might not be getting snow at all. What state are you in? What else is happening? Say my name. Is anyone using that anymore now that they have give me your code? Give me your code. Illinois. All right. I saw someone sent me a story from Illinois, and they you've yet to see a code. I'll talk about that. I know you don't pronounce the S in Illinois, but the weird thing is that in Des Moines, Iowa, it's spelled D-E-S-M-O-I-N-E-S, Des Moines, but it's pronounced Des Moines because it's French apparently, right? Now, if you say Des Plaines, Illinois, you pronounce the S both in Des and Plains. I don't get it. So you pronounce the S in Des Plaines, but not at the end of Illinois. Okay, we got way off on a tangent there. But I always think that's kind of interesting. Des Plaines, Illinois, by the way, is where they used to have the world's first, saw one code and they used to have the world's first McDonald's. Technically, I think there were already like 9 McDonald's out there, but when Ray Kroc bought it, it was the first one to be licensed and by the Ray Kroc, as a franchise. So they called it McDonald's #1. And they tore it down. Actually, it was funny because they tore it down in like 84, and then they rebuilt it. Identical, using the same plan, same footprint and everything. They rebuilt it. And then they tore it down again, just like in the past 18 months. You can see the whole story on my other channel, on the Average Meat channel. I went and I visited it twice. Once when it was still open, and then once again when it was just rubble, pile of rubble. All right, so the question was, where is it now? How come I'm not able to get that question to pop back up again? I used to be able to do that, and now I can't do that. Oh well. How would you pronounce Lisle, Illinois? Why did the rideshare professor dude have? I don't know. I don't pay any attention to that guy. I think he's deceitful. I don't think he cares to help people. I think he just wants to be a guru. If you go to Chicago, they have Rock and Roll McDonald's. They changed Rainforest Attitude inside. Rock and Roll McDonald's, they changed it to a rainforest inside. Terrible that they changed it. Let's see. Okay, the code. I turned on the code on mine because I did the video on it. I think it was interesting. You know, my channel now is still rideshare, but I expanded. Rather than being micro-focused on rideshare, I expand a little bit. I talk about travel in general. Of course, rideshare is travel, right? So I made a video to show how that whole code system worked from a passenger perspective. And I think I was in, gosh, I don't even remember. I want to say I was at LaGuardia, but I don't think that's right. I might have been at Pittsburgh. No, it couldn't have been Pittsburgh because I had a car when last time I went to Pittsburgh. Well, it doesn't matter. I was at an airport somewhere. Let's just say that. Maybe, I'll bet it was LaGuardia. Anyhow, the guy pulled up, and I had my code. I already had checked the make, the model, the color, the name. I looked at the dude. So I got in the car, which I think is what most people are going to do anyways. But then I said to him, well, here's the code. So he had to put it in. He said, this is the first time I've seen it. And do I know Bourbonnais, Illinois? I do not. And he said it's the first time. I said, and I forgot to turn it off. So every time I get in an Uber now, it's the code. And I keep forgetting to turn that off. I should do that as soon as I'm done with this podcast. But I forget. But mushroom burger with chili fries. Where's that? I bet Molly Schuyler could eat 30 of them in a sitting. Does anyone here know who Molly Schuyler is? I bet nobody knows who Molly Schuyler is. So anyway, I just think that it's so much redundancy. And I kind of think that Uber and Lyft do it as a... we used to have a Steak and Shake nearby where I live, but it went out of business, I think. And I think they do it as a PR piece because they already have so many things in place. And it's like who was a comic that used to say you can't fix stupid? You know, if they give you the make of the car, the model, the color, the license plate, the driver's name, the driver's picture, that's 7 things. That's 7 things I just picked off there. Do you really need a code on top of it? And I think most people are going to get in the back seat or the front seat before they give you the code anyways, right? And if they do that, what's the point of having the code? They'll lock the doors and take off if they are a mean person. Do you remember Uncle Shaky? That magician? He had a handlebar mustache and he used to wear like a skimmer, a straw skimmer hat. Uncle Shaky. Was it Ron White that used to say it? I knew it was one of those guys from that, whatever they call it, the blue collar thing. They're overdoing it, but fine. Maybe they'll use one of those features. Oh, Farrell's. I made a pig of myself at Farrell's. My goodness, you must be from this area, huh? Yeah, Farrell's used to have something called the pig trough. And if you could finish that off, you could, I think you just got a little button, a sticker or something that said, I made a pig of myself at Farrell's. Safety makes weary customers, or does it just make more weary customers? Thinking, why do I have to do that? Do we have Culver's up here? We invented Culver's up here. Culver's was founded in Wisconsin. Culver's was, it was founded right outside of Madison, Northwest. I forget what town. But I haven't driven for Uber. I haven't driven for Uber since last summer. Should I get back into it? I don't know. That's got to be your call. Yeah, Culver's, they bought an old A&W and they turned it into Culver's and it just went from there. I don't know how good, if they're doing a good job of keeping on the code as a placebo. I don't know. Did you ever try putting in a wrong code and does it work? I didn't know Sonics was from Wisconsin. I knew Culver's was. But Culver's, I think sometimes, there's one Culver's near me and it's hit and miss. Sometimes the custard will be really good and creamy, and other times it's like grainy. It's I don't know what it is, if it didn't get frozen properly, or if that's a sugar in it, or what it is, but sometimes the Culver just isn't what it used to be. Cousin subs. How about Suburbia? See, Truth Warrior, that's when I used to eat Farrell's too, when I was a kid. When I was a kid back in the 1920s. See, that's when we wore the straw really in style. So, so yeah. I don't know. Should I send this in? Did I answer all the questions correctly? I'll send it in. All they could do is ask me to clarify, or I mean, you can't. It's not like I'm answering my taxes wrong here. During the period in question, do you have a single contract or multiple contracts at the firm? I had one contract. I had to fill out a contract with them. We have to start. We have to agree to their terms of service. Terms of service are a legal contract, right? Am I right? So I'm going to say yes. Was the contract oral, written, or both? It was a written contract. Did each contract specify the exact services to be performed? Yes. While working for the employer, did you have contracts with other firms? No. So you know what it says? Attach a copy of the contract. So I guess I am going to have to go online and download the terms of service, right? That's their contract, their terms of service. We have to sign off on that. Anything you sign is legal and binding. If we sign it, it's a contract. That's what they told me when I was in contract law. No, it's not who sent it was close. State of Wisconsin Department of Workforce Development. Oh, Ramon. Thank you, my friend. It was good seeing you the other day when I responded to you. You know, always support the channel. I do appreciate this. What I am going to do now is I want to know, you guys, when people support the channel and when they are, Lisa, are you still here? And they are Patreon sponsors. I know some people put the name in, and I always question whether or not people really want their name out there. So I don't know. And that's the only reason I don't publicly acknowledge it, but I kind of feel like doing that because I think people that support the channel deserve to be recognized and acknowledged. But the question was asked, who sent it? And, well, it's good to have you here. We went through, for a moment, what we were doing here is we're going through this document that I got, and it's from the State of Wisconsin Department of Workforce Development. And the departments that it gives here are Unemployment Insurance Division and Bureau of Tax and Accounting. So apparently they want to see if Uber has been paying the appropriate taxes, because it says during a recent unemployment insurance audit, Razier LLC Uber Technologies, was discovered that I received payments. So that's what happened. What happens if I don't fill out the paperwork? Probably nothing. Probably nothing happens if I don't fill it out. It doesn't say that there's a penalty if I don't, but I want to. I think that they need to get their information. You know what I should do? I should contact Julia A. Clark, the field auditor. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to contact Ms. Clark, and I'm going to tell her my situation, and she might say to me, don't fill anything else out. Matter of fact, that would be a great thing to do, because then you guys I could tell you the rest of the story. I've been waiting for that. All right, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to call Miss Julia Clark. I will let you know. I think that sounds exciting. I'll tell you what, there's someone else I want to call. Do a live stream call. You mean call her live, or you guys want to call me live? Yeah, but you know, it's not like Dustin, where people send him free telephones. If you call me, it's on my dime, and I'm giving you my phone number. that would, you know what I wanted to do, and this is completely unrelated to this channel, but you guys might find it interesting anyways. I recently, last time I was in Dallas, I went to um, the graves of Bonnie and Clyde. And Bonnie and Clyde, they were shot up horrendously in Louisiana together. And they were buried in two separate graves because Bonnie Parker's mom said, you know, he had her for 2 years. He's not going to have her forever. And she took her child, Bonnie Parker. And I say child, she's only like 24 years old, 23 years old. And they buried him. And I did a story on that. And then in the process, I found out that there are two descendants, sort of. Well, they weren't married, they didn't have kids, but there was a niece of Bonnie and a nephew of Clyde. They're still alive. They're in their 80s. And they want to have the bodies exhumed and buried together. They actually want to exhume Bonnie and bring her over and plop her down next to Clyde. That's who I want to get hold of. I think that would be a fascinating interview with the niece and nephew of Bonnie and Clyde, I tell you. But yeah, I don't know if this person would want to be on a live stream, but I'll certainly call and I'll pass along the information. What's my opinion on Wyatt Earp? I think he was a man's man. I mean, things were questionable back in the day. You know, you hear a lot of different stories, but the Earps had the badge. And they were in their legal right to disarm someone that was in the city limits of Tombstone, right? And if somebody, there is a Wisconsin connection, I've heard about it. And if somebody pulled a gun on them, I guess all bets are off. You know, it was the Wild West. Let's face it, this is 1934, the Bonnie and Clyde, and they ambushed them. They ambushed them. Can you imagine cops doing that today? I don't care who it is. Can you imagine ambushing someone and just shooting them up with a couple hundred bullets? So, okay, Donnie, you're going to make some filthy lucre. But what is the connection? I know that Wyatt Earp I thought he was born in Iowa, wasn't he? So that's right, you know, over the river from Wisconsin. But what's the Wisconsin connection? You tell me. There's a lot of Wisconsin connections to a lot of things historic. I mean, that guy from the Titanic was born in Wisconsin, right? I know, that was made up. So what else is happening, peeps? Did you see in the live stream that I did with Kevin that I brought back the sound effects? That sounds about right, Trickster. 130 rounds. They said that they both had about 50 in them. I mean, how many does it take, really? You know? But I don't know. They got out. It was almost incredible the way that they escaped so many times when they should have been completely blocked in, and they got away. So I guess they figured in that short time period they killed like 18 people. That's crazy. So I guess they figured we're not gonna give them benefit of the doubt. But it's been a long time since I used my sound effects machine. Boy, does it look to you? To me, the color looks really vivid tonight. Remember this? I haven't had this in a long time. I was watching Blue Hawaii before I came down here. That's why I'm in good spirits. It's one of my 3 favorite Elvis movies. I think in order I would say King Creole, #1, Viva Las Vegas, #2, and Blue Hawaii, #3. And Jailhouse Rock fits in there somewhere too, probably #4. Those are my favorite all-time Elvis movies. You guys are probably saying, Elvis? Who's Elvis? But nevertheless. What else is going on, everybody? You making some money? Any California people out here? Hey, cut off my legs and call me Shorty. Elvis Presley can act. That was an actual review that he got when King Creole came out. Cut off my legs and call me Shorty. Elvis Presley can act. It was good. He was good in that movie. He was real good in that movie. I mean, some of the others were fluff, but but they were still fun. Fun to watch. Good music. I enjoy them. Everything doesn't have to be, Citizen Kane, right? Some things. You can do Uber Eats anywhere. No, I can't. I can't go down to Chicago and do Uber Eats. If I do, I have to relinquish my Wisconsin registration. So, well, have I tried? Not officially, but Uber told me that. And you know me, I'm nothing if not one to follow the rules. So, I played South Carolina, was able to Uber Eats there last week. I don't know. But you know what I did find out about Uber Eats? And I know that you could be right, Jay. I'm not going to even question you because I have never tried it. I'll tell you something interesting about Uber Eats. I don't know if all of you that are here actually use Uber Eats, but as a person who I rarely use it at home, but when I'm on the road, I use it a lot. And what Uber Eats does is it remembers, it collects the last place you were. So if you're not careful, what I did once, I don't remember where I was, but I was looking, I said, oh, these look like all interesting places. And they said, well, this one's 5 minutes from you, this one's 12 minutes from you, this one's 20 minutes. A lot of places. I ordered my food. It sent the food to a hotel I was at on 34th Street and Park Avenue in Manhattan. Because that's the last place that I used my Uber Eats app. So I have to be really careful now. So then I realized it too late, and then I had to cancel. And so you got to be really careful because every time it doesn't establish like your home place, like if I register at my house, it doesn't do that. It just remembers the last place you ordered their food from. So if you're not careful, you might look like there's all these great places, and then you say, oh no, that's in Oklahoma City. That's not where I am now. Yeah, the Wright brothers video, that was pretty cool. That plane came from. And by the way, did you guys see when I built that? I got two more things I'm going to build. By the way, I'll come back to that. But when I built that, and one of you said, Mark, I noticed that the tip screen is different in South Carolina than here in Atlanta. I built that. I bought it at the Wright Brothers Museum in Dayton, Ohio. And they have a full-size replica of that Wright Flyer there. It's not the real one. The real one, I think, is in the Smithsonian. But I'm finishing it. And I built that plane on a video. And I tried to fly it. And someone said to me, you're flying it backwards. And they were right. This plane, can I find it? There it is. This plane flies this way, not this way. So I was throwing it that way and it was just crashing because it was trying to recover. It was trying to turn around. Once I flew it this way, it flew perfectly. Isn't that hard to believe? So this is actually the tail. And I guess this is where Wilbur, I forget which one took the first flight. He laid down probably on this little crossbar here. And it flew. Well, actually, this is a glider. This is not the Wright Flyer. This is a glider because it doesn't have the motor on it, right? So it flew this way, which is the craziest thing. And someone said to me, "You're flying it backwards, Mark." And sure enough, when I tried to fly it the other direction, it flew great. It flew beautifully this way. So everything that you see on these shelves comes from one of my travels and one of my journeys. That Route 66, I got that from when I went to the launching pad, which is on Route 66, and that's where the Gemini Giant is. That's that big muffler man there. And that is Route 66 root beer. And the guy that gave me that, he owns the place. His name is Sully. And that white box, he signed that to me. And I got that bobblehead of the Gemini Giant, that's called. It's an iconic muffler man along Route 66. And then he gave me this bottle of Route 66 root beer. And this comic book was from the Superhero Hall of Fame, and that was in Ohio. And this little thing right there, those are the Hitchhiking Ghost. Those are different things from the Haunted Mansion at Disney. And That, of course, is Mickey Mouse. I got that as a gift. You can't really tell, but there's a little, like a watch in his hand. And it's actually a desk clock. And this is a mini Zoltar because I always like the Zoltars. You know, when you get places and you put the dime in and, yo, Crybaby, how you doing? See how fast it takes to make $7.04. Donnie, you are a master. I'm not going to finish that word. And so that's why so everything here represents some travel. This right here, that postcard, that is the School Book Depository in Dallas, Texas. That's where Lee Harvey Oswald shot at President Kennedy. These two things right here in the bottom and top, those are the two stickers that go out when people ask or people give me money. So when they put in a to donate here, I send them this sticker here is the Let's Talk About It, and this is my Love Me, Hate Me, Tell Me, Rate Me sticker. So this, of course, is my address, and these are the airlines that I have flyer programs with. That says Say My Name. So everything here has some significance. And this is my old, that's my YouTube business card. So that's it. That's why I have all this stuff. One lady was kind of mean one time and said, why do I have, it was creepy that I had children's things on my shelves, children's toys. And none of those are children's toys. They are souvenirs. Souvenirs and things. This is the only children's toy I have. I attended professor party, saw 4 different Uber apps from user drivers, different areas. I found that a little disconcerting. Route 66 root beer. It's pretty good root beer. Done Uber Eats in Illinois as well. Found it interesting since I'm a resident of Wisconsin. What part of Wisconsin are you from? I'll try it. Although I'm not sure when I'm on the road that I really want to be doing Uber Eats deliveries, right? Racine. So, I always call it, and I have as a lifelong, I moved other places, but I grew up in Wisconsin. I always called it Racine. Some people say Racine. They really emphasize the long A, and then they kind of put equal emphasis on both Ray and Scene. Racine. So I want to know, do you say Racine? That's A, or Racine, B? Come on, I'm like the guy when you're getting your glasses, right? A or B? A or B? 1 or 2? Racine, Racine. I knew you were going to do that. Racine or Racine. I always say you can tell people aren't from Wisconsin that they say Racine. And then if you get them to say Oconomowoc, that really screws them up, right? Or in that movie, Public Enemy with Johnny Depp, when they said, I'm from Manitowish, Wisconsin. No, it's Manitowish Waters. So I'll have to take this out and fly. Oh, I didn't tell you the other 2 things I'm going to build. When I was in Seattle, I got a wood model, Oshkosh or Fond du Lac, Bagash. So I got a wood model. It's got like laser cut pieces that you snap out of the Space Needle. Haven't put that together yet. And then I got a metal, this thing looks like a nightmare to put together. It's a tiny little package. It's got, I don't know how many pieces, and it's of the Hogsworth. I don't know. That thing looks like it's going to be really complex. So you're still on. Yeah, I'm still here, Lisa. I asked you a question earlier and you weren't here to answer. I will leave this for a whole nother live stream. Wiser. Wait. There is no other live stream that's Wiser. What other live stream is Wiser? I think I'm going to have to take off your your moderator if you're going to leave me, Donnie. Okay, that's the way it goes. You have to have loyalty. Loyalty counts these days. That's okay. I change my moderators frequently. But if you're not here to moderate, you can't moderate. Am I? No, I do not drive near Green Bay. I drive in the Milwaukee market. Oh God, I wouldn't want to be near Lambeau during games. Who am I talking to? I'm talking to everybody, Lisa. I was asking Lisa, what do you think? Like earlier, Ramon pledged $10 to me, and that I have people who are Patreon sponsors, and some channels will list, the sponsors and the people that pledge money. They list that at the end of the video. I feel a little uncomfortable doing that because I'm not sure how many people really want their names out there. So that was a question. So what do you think? Should I list names? Yes or no? Yes names, no names. This is fun. It's been a long time. No, Milwaukee is south of Green Bay considerably. It's about 2.5 hours to get up there. So that is, it's not really my market. There's a lot of in-betweens there. You get up to, different places. Fond du Lac, you'd have to get up to. Oshkosh B'gosh. No, Oshkosh B'gosh, you're probably not passing through. Yeah, you could. And then you get up to Green Bay, and then you get up into the place that's going to be real pretty in about 2 months, 2.5. I'm coming to Chicago next week. I'm always in Chicago, but I'll be going down there. I have some things to do. I'll be down in Chicago Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday of next week. So I'll be there. Should we set up a meet and greet with that guy from Chicago? Yes, really. I'll be there. Why would I lie about that? Why would somebody say they're going to Chicago unless they absolutely had to go to Chicago? That's like saying, I'm going to put bamboo shoots under my nails next week. Why would I say that if it wasn't really going to happen? Come on, man. Thank you, Donnie. I do appreciate it. You still haven't answered my question. You made it look like I am a bad custodian of our planet. You put my face on a guy that was not recycling his plastic bottle. It made me sad. And I cried. Okay, I'm not leaving your live stream. I'm asking to your next live stream. It doesn't get twisted. I will never leave your live stream. Okay, Donnie. All right. Then what I will do. Okay. I reinstated you as a moderator. I'm asking you about doing a live stream talking about passenger versus driver, driver versus passenger. I have 2 medical trips tonight. Medical trips. I've never done one of those yet. So I don't know what that's like. But money's money. As long as it's not a woman that's having a baby and I'm going to have to deliver it, and then I'm going to have to say, boil some water and get me some newspapers, because that's what I would do. And the reason that I would do that is because that's what they always do in the movies. Boil some water, get me a newspaper. I got it, Donnie. I understand. I appreciate your support. Yeah, 2 medical trips in one night. That's pretty good, isn't it? So I'm getting thirsty. You notice how my glass was empty? So, well, that's not an emergency. I mean, it's important. But if you get them there 10 minutes late, probably not anything too bad's going to happen, right? So, what else should we do, everybody, while we're all here? This thing it's not connecting tight enough. There we go. What I was going to do, I was going to do a story when I'm down in Texas. I was going to visit the Leopold and Loeb locations, but I thought that's a pretty heavy video, And I thought, I don't know, my We Are Fantastic 411. That's a pretty heavy video, heavy duty for my upbeat, fun, average me channel. And even when I do like the murder mysteries. Usually, well, Leopold and Lowell too. They're almost 100 years old now, in the 20s. But it was so disgusting. Are you guys familiar with it? First of all, it was so disgusting and so shocking. But nevertheless, it's interesting. But these days with Uber, um, yeah, they do that airplane. They have the fly-in in Oshkosh. They're regular passengers. They only want me to drive. Why wouldn't they, trickster? So yeah, I have never been to that experimental aircraft. They say for that weekend, the Oshkosh airport becomes the busiest airport in the world for one weekend. And it's crazy because they have planes like this that actually fly in. And they have no radio communication. They're using flags and lights, and it is crazy. Jay, ciao to you. Ciao, baby. Ciao, baby. I know. So I've not been there yet, but I've been up in the area when it's happening. It's very, very busy. Yeah, I don't know that anybody knows my face. I'll tell you one thing. Um, when now with the way that they are monetizing videos and controlling the videos, I'm just afraid that if I put a video that's too hard hitting, they you get penalized when you do that on a video. So, and that's pretty graphic. You know. Good night, trickster. Yeah, it is only an hour from where I live, but first of all, I got to get tickets for the event. Second of all, I got to be home. I travel so much. I don't always get up there, but it'd be worth it. It'd be fun to do. You could say the same thing about anything in Chicago. It's only an hour from my house. I just hate going there. I mean, Chicago is just yuck. I just don't like going there. But since I'm going to be there, I thought I would do the Leopold and Loeb stories. There's other interesting things down there. Um, I did that gangster story. That was an awful lot of fun. I went down but there's so much more of that gangster lore and legend and lore down there. So anyhow, I believe that Dairy Queen was started down there in Chicago somewhere, and you can track that down. Hey, you know what? Have you guys noticed that I put up a different backdrop? And my backdrop is blue, so it's brighter. Maybe that's why I thought it looked brighter. So I used to have that brown mottled. Yeah, the Capone story. I did the Capone story. Hospital all the time when I need the emergency room. It's crazy here. Yeah, but do you have to go through the emergency room, or do you just drop them off? Do you honk your horn? They come out with a wheelchair. Or what? That I have never done um, a medical run, so I'm not really sure what to expect when you get there. Do they come out and actually get the person out of the car, or are these people all ambulatory? They can just get up and walk in on their own. I don't know. Never done it. Never done it. So, all right. We have been at this for 62 minutes, so I think that it is time. What do they say? This day we'll call it a night. Is that how the song went? So I think this day we will call it a night. It was so much fun. Boy, it's good to get back in the saddle. I haven't done a live stream in such a long time. Yeah, the Concorde flew in there once, didn't it? That was nuts too. I've never seen that. I have seen the what are they called? The giant 747s. The big cargo ones, the Dreamlifters. Is that what they call them? I've seen one of those when I was traveling. Those are amazingly huge. About everyone discussing how much they make. Are you talking about making with Uber and Lyft, or what are you referring to there? Talk about how much everyone makes. I think people are pretty open about what they earn. Yeah, the Dreamlifter was cool. They could never fly that thing into Oshkosh. I'm surprised they could fly a Concorde into there. Are they even flying anymore? They fly out of France, don't they? I don't know what happened with that. It's got to just be too expensive. No medical emergencies going to the hospital. Okay, so it's just people I need to get there for routine checkups and things. That sounds pretty interesting. Sounds like good way to make some money. Well, everybody, we are going to call this one done. So what should I use here? Is that a good ending, or should we do this one? No, that's not good. That's impending doom. How about this one? No, that sounds like you're at a baseball game. I don't think I have taps here. I have a fanfare. Um, what else do I have? I have, oh, I know, wah, 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 wah. I have that. Okay. I have the rim shot. That's about it. Okay, so I was ready to sign off 5 minutes ago, and we didn't do it. So hey, I learned everything that every classic piece of music I know is because of Looney Tunes, Ari. So from the Barber of Seville to everything is from Looney Tunes. All right, you have a good night, everybody, and keep watching. Even watch my airline videos. They're really good. They're interesting. They're fun to watch. All right, see you later, everyone.